Ambassador live show. Ambassador speaks. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ambassador Speaks live show. Today, I'm your host, and I'm glad to be speaking to you. So, there is a topic that we will be discussing today, and it's all about mental health. And I would like to know if you can get me clearly, if you can. How audible am I? Am I reaching out? Uh, are you getting me well? So kindly comment where you're watching from, and if at all you are hearing me perfectly well, so that we can continue. Remember, I just hinted you that we will be speaking about mental health. It's a very crucial topic to speak about, especially in such times where uh, people are going through a lot, and it is very important that we should actually know how to deal with such kind of uh, situation in our day-to-day lives. So kindly comment on where you are getting me from and whether you can hear or listen to me perfectly. You can actually join our link that I just sent you uh, through the WhatsApp platform so that we can kick off. I hope you will enjoy the session. So yeah, mnanipata kutoka wapi? Where are you getting me from? Yes, thank you very much. I can see a number of you are joining, and it's quite amazing. Yes, just to recognize uh, some of you. Yeah, it's quite amazing to see you here. Yes, you can continue commenting on where you're getting me from, and whether I'm audible enough so that we can make adjustments kama labda hatupatani vizuri. Yeah, you can also share what you feel about or what you are expecting about the topic that we're just going to discuss. Remember, it is a discussion, it is a show, it's a live show. We can interact. What do you think about mental health? How has it affected you, or what do you have to say about it in your own words? Yes, so karibuni. You can comment as I wait for your comments. Yeah, I would like to see. Yeah, thank you, Shabana. Is it Shabana? Shahban KJ anasema anioni kufundisha madawa. Okay, fine. Twende nalo sawa sawa. Yeah, unanipata vizuri. Thank you very much. Yeah, the host ambassador ananipata nyuma ya kamera. That's amazing. Yeah, Jemu Dorcas, it's awesome indeed. Yeah, tuendelee hivyo. Aha. I also see Joseph from Limuru. Yes, Jose, thank you very much for following the show. Shakban anasema anatoka China. I hope hajakuja kutudai. All right. We also have Maureen. Maureen anasema niongeze sauti. I hope unanipata vizuri Maureen. Nimeongeza sauti kidogo. Yeah, Evans Koech pia. Yeah, is there. Thank you very much. So, remember, as I started the show, I introduced nikasema we are going to speak about mental health. This is actually one of the most crucial topics, or rather, it's actually a life issue that most of people are going through this. I mean, in the society right now, many people, especially the youth, especially we youth, are going through numerous cases of mental health. And I chose this topic because I know it is quite appropriate that we should speak about it, so that we all understand what is this menace, or what is it exactly that are we going through as youth, or even elder people in the society. It's a topic that is cutting through all ages, all generations. So, just to begin with the definition, what do you think mental health means? Most of us guys, ukisikia mtu akasema akiongelea about mental health, definitely you have to think of someone with health issues, especially mental health issue. So mtu labda atafikiria tukiongelea mambo ya mental health, directly anafikiria ni mwenda wazimu ama mtu amechizi, not knowing that mental health does not only speak about the status of your mind. Actually, it even speaks about its health, not on the negative side alone. So, just to define, the WHO in a define mental health as a state of mental well-being that a state of wacha ni kidogo on WHO, the way WHO wameiweka wanasema it is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope up with stress of life and realize their abilities, learn and work well, and contribute to the community. That is how WHO may define mental health. So a state of mental well-being, it's actually how you are mentally. It is a state. So mental health is trying to define how normal or how effective is your mental health. So it's also something that enables you to cope up with stress of life. What tunaambiwa, maisha iko na mambo mengi, and it's true. Life has a lot of things. Life has stress. There are many moments you can go through life. You can be happy, you can be depressed, you can be sad. All manner of situations can actually change how you behave in life. But it's only through your mental health, or it's only how through the power of your mind that you can cope with these stresses of life. You can be too happy, and it even may lead you to an extent of being ill mentally. You can be too sad to a point of you can also be ill mentally. So, but the state of your mind will determine how you will go through such situations in life. That is why it is very important that we should discuss and see how exactly should we be positioning ourselves, or how exactly should our minds be stationed to overcome these stresses of life, so that we have a smooth life without being mentally ill or being depressed or such a. So uh, we've seen the definition of WHO. Now, there are different types of mental health. Tukijaribu kuangalia, there are three types of mental health. Not three, I mean four. There are four types of mental health. And before we go to the types of mental health, let me just respond to some of your comments. Thank you for those who are joining in. I hope you're getting me clearly. Yes, Coach, I can see you. Good stuff. Thank you, sir. Maureen, thank you. Thank you so much. We also have Cornelius. Awesome. Keep it up. Thank you. Thank you, Cornelius. We also have yeah, Magis Family Ministry and your presence. Thank you very much. Thank you. Chepsia Timothy. Thank you very much. Yeah, I also see Shakban again. Uh, sawa, nimekupata. Yeah, nimekupata. So now let us see the four types, and maybe shortly before that, remember what I just told you, that mental health may not merely be the absence of mental illness. It may not. It cannot only be the absence of it, the absence of the illness itself. It can also. It's also the state of the perfect state of your mental how do I put it, like the way it is working well can also be defined by the by the word mental health. So when I say mental health, don't rush to the negative side of it, that when I speak of mental health you only think of someone who is depressed, maybe someone who is mad, which that's an extreme case, someone who is sad. No, it means it's a general term that actually speaks about the state of our mind. Derek, you're not late. Derek, where are you watching us from? Uh, Derek, we actually do not know where you are unless if you can share with us so that we know. Huh. Who else? Timothy, thank you. Thank you for your appreciation. Yeah, thank you so much. So, uh, let us see the four types. So, the first type, we have what we call mood disorders. That's the first type of mental health, mood disorders. And I know ladies can explain this perfectly well. Before we get to the mood disorders, we also have what you call anxiety disorders. The first one is mood disorders. The second one is anxiety disorders. The third one is personality disorders. The fourth one is the psychotic disorders. So the mood disorders, uh, ni kama depression, and they also call it bipolar disorders. So when we look at it, before we look at it, the second one I said anxiety disorders, the third one personality disorders, and the fourth one the psychotic disorders. The psychotic disorders ni kama schizophrenia. But before we look into that, um, Kidau Musila, you're tuned in. Thank you, and you're much welcome. We also have hmm, Amos. Amos, you're watching us from California. Which California? Because the only California that I know, Nila iko Eldoret, the one that the US copied its name. So sijui ni California gani, but you're much welcome. Zipora Ndinda, karibu sana. Thank you very much. We also have Derek. Derek, we are still waiting. Mutuambie where exactly are you watching us from? So that yeah. So let us look into the first one, the one that I just told you, the mood disorders. So the mood disorders, they are bipolar disorders, and it is majorly depressive. Yeah, that's why most of what wanaitanga depression, and it's actually disruptive mood dysregulation order. We all know about moods. It's a temporary feeling about something or about uh, a reaction to anything. It's actually temporary, short lived, but it is part of mental health. And from what I see, uh, it actually increases in morbidity and modality. That's what it says. So mood disorders, most people actually ignore it as part of mental health. Whenever you have a bad mood towards something, a bad mood in that case, I mean, you don't feel right with something. Let's say, for example, you just woke up in the morning and everything seems not working well with you. Uh, People are talking to you, but you don't even feel like talking to them. People are trying to behave the very way you normally behave, lakini you feel like no, it's not, you're not just all right, unaona. And from experience, mi nafikiri ladies ndo wanakwanga na hizo shida sana. Unapata today utaongea na yeye vizuri sana, within a few minutes ataongea in a way you cannot even believe it's still the same person umekuwa ukiongea naye. That is actually a mental a mental, it's a type of a mental health, and it should not be ignored. We shall later all see how we can cope up with that, how we can fix uh, our minds in a way it can deal with such disorders, so that you can have a life that that is orderly, that is smooth. You don't crash with people, you don't crash with things, or if you do, at least in a way it doesn't bring more issues to your life. So the second one, if you remember, was anxiety disorders. Yeah, anxiety disorders. Anxiety disorders. Before I we speak about what it is, here again we have Bena Koech. Yeah, karibu sana. Maureen anasema kuna California pia iko seku. Yeah, it's true. Kuna California iko seku, and it's like each and every state or every place in Kenya kuna California fulani mahali. Karibu sana. Derek, you're tuned from Butula, Busia. Thank you. Is it Butla? Uh, oh, you just said Turkey. Okay. All right. So karibu sana Derek. You're much welcome. Anasema kwa hapo kwa ladies. Unaanzisha vita huwezi maliza. Uh, yeah, it's just a show. We are not arguing. Unajua wanasema you you can never win an argument against a lady, but right now we are just having a discussion, and it is important that we stick to that. Yeah, we also have yeah, I think this one's, yeah, let's continue. um we would like to see the second one. I said anxiety disorders. Anxiety disorder is actually uh, part of the broad topic of mental health. It should not also be ignored. When we are dealing with this, we should be careful so that at least tukuwe unajua anxiety is part of the mental health thing. Yes, yeah, there are some little adjustments I'm making here, but yeah, you can, as we are following, do not forget to like our page, our channel. Yes, you like, you subscribe if at all you haven't subscribed yet, and you also share the link to those to your friends so that they can also find such educative topics to follow. Yeah, Amos. Amos says, Amos is saying California in Kimumu, Eldoret. Thank you very much. We also have someone anajita science addict. Anasema anatufuata from Comrade Base. Is it Comrade or Command? Comrade Base USSR. USSR ilikuwa inamaanisha nini? Nikikumbuka USSR I think ni zile mambo za cameraman. USSR ilikuwa what was USSR? Eh?
Russia.
USSR ni Russia. Anasema USSR ni Russia. All right. So let us see anxiety. What is anxiety disorders? So people with anxiety disorder may experience what we call excessive fear, or also what we call worries about a specific situation. For example, if there is an attack, you will develop anxiety. Or let's say, for example, the most common one for us who have ever been students, when it is exam time, there is a lot of anxiety. And many people do not even know that it is part of your mental health. Anxiety can be disastrous when its levels are passed or when the limits are passed. So, anxiety, as I have just explained, is just a condition or a disorder or an experience of excessive fear. There is fear, and everyone has fear, but when it becomes excess, is when we term it as anxiety. Anxiety can even make you fail to do the simplest task that you wouldn't even need a lot of energy to do. You've heard of people who are given platforms to speak to a congregation and they develop anxiety, they develop fear, too much fear that they cannot even stand, too much fear that they cannot even talk what they had. What they had prepared to present evaporates, and to nowhere. You cannot, they cannot even trace. Anxiety can even make you fail in exams because when it is your last exam and you know it is the one that is going to graduate you, or is the one that's going to make take you to some level that you must, you may fail, not because you are not intelligent enough, or you're not but it's only because of that fear that has outgrown its limits. That's what we call anxiety. For example, in a social situation, just like I have explained to you, it normally happens that you are not used to talking to a lot of people. And now that you're giving that chance, you develop that fear. So in this case, it is actually an everyday experience until you learn how to cope up with, or to manage your fear. That is when you will know how to manage anxiety. Yes. So there, so there are ways you can manage. There are ways you can control your fear. There are ways you can control your anxiety. there are ways you can train your mind not to panic beyond some limits, uh, to a point that you can be less productive or you can even fail to be productive at all. So, can you share with us? You can comment. What do you think are some of the situations that also brings anxiety, or maybe situations in your life that you've ever felt anxious? Is it anxious that you ever developed anxiety to a level you couldn't do what you were to do? So please comment or share through the chat section. Ni nini hiyo umewahi pitia siku moja ambayo ilikufanya kwa kuwa too anxious, too much fear mpaka ikafika point you were not even able to do ile kitu ulikuwa umeambiwa. Yes, so that we move to the next one. Yeah, can you share? Maggie is yeah, Maggie's family ministry is watching from Nairobi, Utawala. Yeah, we are glad that you're watching us from Utawala. We also have Celia Watch, who is watching us from Kangundo. Yeah, karibu sana. Thank you very much for watching us and following. Yeah. So, what do you think has ever happened to you, or what exactly happened that it created too much fear that you couldn't even do what you were to do? Yeah, kindly share so that we check, we read it out. Mm-hmm. Yes, Derek, what happened to you? You must be having something uh, about yes. Please share. We have someone here. Yeah, maybe as I wait for you to share your experience, maybe I can share mine because I know everyone has. Kila mtu ako na experience ya. There was this day that I was in church and without notice nikaitwa, nikaambiwa, today you're the preacher and you will be preaching to us about this topic. So tell us exactly what you know about this, and yeah, you just preach to us what you know about that. That is when everything changed. I was trying to imagine that it is me that is going to stand before all these people, presenting what I know, yes, to some point, but that level of preparedness or that's the people I'm going to speak to, I was not prepared. And I think I hardly spoke to many people at that time. So before even I got to the pulpit, I was sweating profusely. I couldn't even hold a pen. My knees were demonstrating. So it was a very difficult moment for me. So when I was there, the harder I tried to stay put, the harder tried to be calm. Uh, I couldn't do it, and until I just got hold of the pulpit. Unajua ile nini ya kuweka Bible, the pulpit ya kanisa. I found myself holding it so that at least I can have some little courage ya kusimama, because I couldn't stand on my own. My palms were sweaty, so it was really a very difficult moment. And I remember what I was to present for 20 minutes, I was done within 5 minutes because I actually read out whatever I had written at the field that I had written. Because when I was told I would be the one preaching, is when I now started writing whatever I know on a piece of paper, and I knew that this is enough for me to present for at least 20 minutes. But I was done within 5 minutes because I just read out and I explained, I think, very few lines that I had wrote down. Later on, I was feeling heavy. I was feeling like I shouldn't even mingle with those people again because I failed or I didn't even meet what they expected from me. Like it was just a mess. But I didn't know that it was a mental health issue. If at all I knew, maybe I would have learned on how to cope up with that. So that's my experience. What's your experience? Mm, Derek anasema mental health is something that should be discussed more, especially as men. And Derek, I agree with you. In as much as men are actually going through serious cases of mental health, we shouldn't even ignore, we should not also ignore about ladies. But in the case of men, I think men were created in a different ajifungue. Alikuwa amejifungua actually from his explanation, na immediately after wiki moja aka so akapata he was laid, alipoteza kazi in that case, and he was feeling like dunia yake ilikuwa inaisha to a point alikuwa na suicidal thoughts. So that's a serious issue, and that's a perfect illustration ya that's a perfect illustration ya mental health. um, kama kuna oh, okay, sorry, naambiwa na cameraman, if you're having an issue, you kindly um, kama mnanipata vizuri, or if there is an issue, would you kindly please highlight?
Just ask them if mahali wako they're also experiencing network problems. Yeah, they will comment there. More so Derek ako America.
Yes, you can please share that so that we correct, ndio tupatane vizuri. Yes, yeah, you can continue. I hope you're getting me well. Yes, yeah, continue sharing your experiences of on how you feel about the states or the situations you went through. Yes, so let us look on the third one, the psychotic, the personality disorders. Sorry, the, remember ya kwanza nilisema nini gani, mood disorders. Ya pili ni anxiety. Sasa ya tatu tunaenda kwa personality disorders. Yeah, so let us look onto that so that we know what exactly is this personality disorders. Remember, we are dealing with mental health. Yeah, remember we are dealing with mental health. So as we check on that, anasema someone is following us live from America. I hope hakuna America ingine Kenya. America si ni ile moja. Karibu sana. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can still share with us the experiences you went through, the anxiety. That's increased fear that led you to underperform in a certain situation, that you were given to conduct certain exercise or something that you had to do, but you failed because you had too much fear that you couldn't do anything. So please share with us so that we check on something here. The third one, that is it, the personality disorders. Erastus anasema congratulations, keeps on high. Thank you so much Erastus, asante sana. Yeah, thank you very much. So let us see on personality disorders. Remember, uh, remember what we just said on the first two disorders. So personality disorders is a mental health condition where people have a lifelong pattern of seeing themselves reacting to others in a way that causes problems. I don't know if you heard that. I said personality disorder is a mental health condition where people have a lifelong pattern seeing themselves and reacting to others in a way that causes problems. I'm sure most of you guys can relate on this. Do you have that one friend that maisha yake tu ni a mess? Unaona, a lifelong pattern ni kama behavior. That one person that every time akijiassociate na watu lazima atalete shida ama ajaribu bring problems out of nowhere by him being there or by her being there. Out of nowhere, the way she speaks, the way she does her things, the way he speaks, the way he does his things, like problems just come out of him or her, and you wonder what exactly is wrong with this person. And most people unapata wanamkejeli instead of understanding that this person must be having a problem, because leo hatuwezi kuwa pamoja, and then with no time you're just causing problems. You're talking in a bad way, you're responding in a very rude manner, you're doing things that annoys people, and then you wonder what exactly is wrong with this person. So if you are not keen enough to understand that such a person is going through a mental health issue, then you may not understand, you may not actually help him, or you may not get to understand the way he is or the way she is. So it is very crucial that we should learn to observe these things, because it's actually common in the society. I think out of 10 people, you can find 2, 3 of them in your midst. So you should be careful enough to learn these things, because our mental issues are trending issues. We live with them day to day in our day to day lives. So people with personality disorders often have hard time understanding emotions and tolerating stress, and they act impulsively. Such people, assuming have you ever seen someone anaenda kwa hoteli anakula, and then amemaliza, but now that you expect him or her alipe, ana cause chaos kwa sababu amerealize it is then that he or she is not even able to pay, or kama ako able kupay, labda kuna that ka level of dissatisfaction, and out of nowhere utasikia anaanza kucomplicate mambo. Oh, hii chakula hata ilikuwa hivi, oh, this was this. and then you realize unashangaa like, if that was the case, why is it that he or she didn't raise it as early as enough, even before he or she took the food? Or unapata mtu anapitia tu stress kidogo, because you do not know what he or she is going through, just trying to speak to him or her in a normal way, anaongea na hasira, anakuongelesha na hasira until you wonder, guy, kwani nilimkosea wapi? Not knowing that it's a personality disorder. That person is not able to handle the stress of life. And remember, in the definition of mental health, I told you that mental health is a state of the mind that enables you to go through stresses of life. It enables you. Enabling you means it carries you through those stresses of life to the other side without causing problems, without causing issues. But you see, for these people, whenever stress comes in, they do not know how to handle that. They do not tolerate. And because they cannot tolerate, they they respond or they act very impulsively. So I think that's the case. Um, so such people are there in the society, and it is our responsibility to understand them. Ukipata mtu unamwongelesha anakujibu na hasira until unashangaa kwani ulimkosea wapi, you should not respond in the same manner. The best thing you can do is you can understand about his situation, and that's why we're having such sessions, so that you are able to realize that indeed this person is having a problem with his mind. The state of his mind is not as there is a certain set book tukiwa high school, sisi watu wa juzi, ilikuwa inaitwa what was it called, was it the betrayal in the city? There was a character alikuwa anaitwa Jasper. Jasper was just a normal person, just like me and you, but the situations that were happening around him, the state of the nation at that time, the you see, people were dying around him, and it reached a point where he was acting mad. He was just like a madman. Unaona huyu mtu amepagawa, ameanza kuongea mambo mingi, you cannot even understand what he's saying. But indeed, in real sense, he was not mad. And there was even a quote alisema that, I don't know who said that, but it was about him. Akasema, when the state of an entire nation disturbs a solitary mind, it is not enough to say when he's mad. When a state, when the state, when what did I just say? Like, you see, at that time, things were not working well around him, and he was not. He had handled it to the extent he could, but it reached a point that it was now affecting him to a point that his behavior changed, and he was acting like a mad person. So someone was just trying to explain that when the situations that was around him uh, were too much for him until it makes him mad, still it is not enough to say he is mad, because he is not. It's actually the situation around him. So uh, that is a personality disorder. So such people, they cannot tolerate distress. They cannot tolerate. Whenever it happens to them, they find the easiest way to deal with that. And in that case, it annoys people. That is why the definition says a long life pattern of seeing themselves reacting to others in a way that causes problems. Instead of finding a solution to that kind of stress that he or she is going through, he takes it in a manner that causes problems. to those who are around him or her. So that's the fourth one. So before we look, that's the third one. Before we look at the fourth one, let me just go through your comments. BMK anasema niongeze sauti kidogo. I hope I'm audible. Um, yes, it's actually important that you have a notebook and a pen so that whatever you find it meaningful and useful, you can note it down. Yeah, it is important that you do that. So let us look at the fourth one, the psychotic disorders. Remember, the first one was mood disorders, and we talked about that. The second one was anxiety. The third one, um, was personality disorders, and now the fourth one, the psychotic disorders. I want us to look on that so that we know what exactly is this kind of mental health issue. And remember to subscribe. Remember to like the video and to share to your loved ones so that they can also be having such a content that is useful and educative to them. Yeah, so let us look into this. Ni kama sauti yangu iko na issue kidogo. Yeah, I've seen number of my friends hapa wananiambia niongeze sauti kidogo, or my mic iko chini kidogo. Let me just let me get it closer. All right, I think I'll be audible enough. Okay, let us look into this, the psychotic disorders. What do you think is a psychotic disorder? Uh, yeah, Venik, karibu sana. Venik anasema thumbs up. Yeah, thank you so much, Venik. Yeah, psychotic disorders, it's a severe mental health issue that causes sorry, Venik. Oh yeah, I'm getting you. It's a severe mental disorder that causes abnormal thinking and perception. And people with this kind of disorders, they lose touch with reality and they start hallucinating, or they can even have delusions. I think this is an advanced uh, disorder as compared to the rest that we just spoke about. You can imagine mtu amekuwa na issue ya mental health mpaka inafika point ambayo you start having abnormal thinking and abnormal perceptions. Abnormal thinking, abnormal perceptions. Like you do not even, you move away from the reality. You're not in the same page with the reality. Like nikikwambia sahi, for example, when I tell you, because you've broken up with someone, you will definitely heal from that pain of losing someone who was close to you, that the bond has broken. With some time, you will heal. But someone with this kind of mental issue does not believe that. Anajua tu happen hivi, the next thing is a very serious issue. And he believes or she believes that way. Definition says he or she moves away from the reality. He loses touch with reality. That's a very serious issue. And I think in one or two cases come through, or we must have met such kind of people that however much you try to explain to them how it is not true that whatever they are saying is going to happen, they cannot believe. What they know is that this is going to happen, and there is nothing that can change it. So that's a very severe mental disorder. Um, let us see what some of you are telling us here. Kaligal anasema hapo sawa, at least anatupata kidogo. Thank you. I think I'll be edible enough. Aha, we also have Derek anasema it can be associated with drug abuse of some extent. Just ask. Oh, you're asking, can it be associated with drug abuse of something? Oh yeah, actually, mental health issues, drugs are also associated with mental health issues, and I think shortly we are going to look on what actually causes these kinds of mental health issues, so that we know how we can cope up with them. We are also going to discuss a few things we can do so that it helps us go, because unajua hii maisha huwezi sema, huwezi pata stress, huwezi pata issue ambayo itakunyima furaha ama itakukasirisha. You must come through such situations in life, na ni vizuri tujue, kwa sababu tusipojua hatutajua vile tutakuwa tunaishi, kwa sababu we use our minds in everything. Wakati akili yako haiko sawa, mambo yako haitakuwa sawa. We can all agree with that. Kama hauko sawa kiakili, pia kikazi hauko sawa, and all other spheres, you will not be okay. uh, ama namna gani, si ni hivyo? So we must deal with these things so that we know how to live, kwa sababu huwezi sema nitaishi bila shida yoyote, nitaishi bila stress. People are there and they will serve you with enough stress, enough that you ever wanted. So it is, kuna jamaa nilikuwa nasikia anaomba, anasema, Mungu, mimi sikuombi unitolee shida kwa maisha yangu, kwa sababu najua zitakuja tu. Ukitoa hii ingine itakuja. Ile kitu mi naomba, unisaidie na knowledge ama uwezo ya kuepukana na hii shida. And I felt like it was an honest prayer and wise also. Kwa sababu you can be hungry today, upewe chakula. Now what about tomorrow? Because you'll be hungry again. Yeah, you'll be hungry again. Who will be there to give you food? So I think the best thing you should do is you think of a solution that can get you through the entire conflict, or uh, the entire problem. You solve it once and for all. So that is the kind of knowledge we need to have when we're dealing with mental health issues. You should know exactly the kind of situation uh, people face, so that when you go through it, you know how to overcome it, and you know how to navigate through it in a way that cannot harm you, in a way that um, cannot bring problems to those people who are around you. Yes, Daniel anasema mainly excitatory and inhibitory. Yeah, inhibitory neurotransmitters, particularly the epinephrine. Terminologies ni mingi hiyo. Daniel, I think I have to let me answer Daniel. Daniel anasema Hebu acha cameraman deal na Daniel kwa sababu
Let me deal with Daniel. We were talking about general mental health, but now, Daniel, you are taking us. In fact, even in biology, we never studied this. Mainly excitatory and inhibitory. Wacha bwana. Hiyo kaa nayo, Daniel. After the end of the lesson, when the speaker will be finalizing, we will give you a call, Daniel. I have your contact. You are from Eldoret, so that you can talk those things that you are writing. We see whether you can pronounce them. I think you are just unfair to us. But thank you, Daniel. Next time you will take us through. Hey, hey, speaker, proceed.
thank you very much. Daniel nafikiri uh, uh, Daniel nafikiri ako na dictionary hapo. Anyway,
No, Daniel is an us.
oh, he's a nurse. All right. Oh, fine. So okay, now let us see some of the tips. Now that we have learned that mental health is all about these things that we just mentioned, and I actually four types of mental health. The first one, the mood. Uh, the second one, the mood disorders. The second one, the anxiety disorders. The third one, the personality disorders. And the last one that we just, the psychotic disorders that we just mentioned previously. So let us see on the tips. What do you think are some of the self care tips that one can use whenever he or she is having a mental health issue? Because I know kila mtu amepitia. You cannot convince me that hakuna siku umekuwa na a mental health issue, because wote tumeangalia, tumesema mental health issue si kuwa mwenda wazimu peke yake. It starts from your mood. A mood disorder is a mental health issue. The anxiety, that's overgrown fear, that's a mental health disorder. Yeah, so let us see on ni nini tunafaa kufanya. What are the tips that we should take care, we should follow, so that we can take care of ourselves whenever we are in such situations? Number one, the most common one, mtu atakwambia you're going through stress, labda from something, you do some exercise. That is get regular exercise. That's my point number one. Get some regular exercise. Most of watu huwa wana underrate exercise, and until you try, you will never realize how impactful it is. Yeah, until you try, you may not realize how impactful physical or exercise can be. In just 30 minutes, you can take a walk every day. You can also do a light kind of a physical engagement just for 30 minutes a day, and it will help you. How does it work? Now, listen. Every day, you get your mood boosted or improved. Small amount of exercise really adds up, and you should not be discouraged. You should not be discouraged. Actually, you unajua, when you realize that you are having an issue with your moods, when you take a walk, or you decide to do something physical, engaging yourself, when you are done is when you realize that your mood is improving. And that's how it works. So number one, get regular exercise. until the issue is solved, until the situation is is gone. Learn to do some exercise. Number two, your diet. Eat well, and it should be regular meals, and you should stay hydrated. Your diet includes eating well. Wanasema si bora kukula, but unafaa kukula chakula bora na inafaa kuwa consistent. That is when you realize that there are some kinds of food ukikula is when you start having mental health issues again, worsening the ones that you are already going through. So when you eat well, you stay hydrated, and you keep a regular meal, that is when you realize that it works for you. Let us see how actually that works. Uh, a balanced diet and a plenty of water can improve your energy and focus throughout the day. So you should pay attention to your intake, so that uh, your, 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 your energy levels are maintained. So there are some kinds of food that are also with some effect. For example, uh, you should pay attention to your intake of caffeine and alcohol, and how they affect your mood, as well as your well-being. Decreasing caffeine and alcohol consumption can be helpful. So, and what is happening out there is completely opposite to what is prescribed. Mtu anapata stress, anasema I wish ningekuwa nakunywa pombe, na wale wenye wako na pombe wanaenda kukunywa pombe. So unapata over an issue, an mental health issue, you're adding up another one. Alcohol and caffeine, which is mostly found in the coffees, especially when taken excessively, worsens your mental health situation. When you learn to do a little of it, if you are if you are if you cannot do without, if you learn to avoid, if you learn to decrease, you'll actually find it helpful. Yeah, and it's a practical thing that many people have tried and it's working out. So for you out there who in one case or another you may be going through such kind of a situation, you can try. You get some regular exercise, you eat healthy, and you can stay hydrated. Tip number 3 is make sleep priority. Kuna watu huwa hawalali because he's going through stress, or because she's going through stress. Watu hawalali. Why do you think is the reason? Mtu anapitia stress, anasema sasa mambo fulani yangu haiendi vizuri, I do not know what to do, and unapata sleeping to him or her is not even part of the solution, whereas it is. In fact, it is the most prescribed one. So if you can create a schedule, watu wanasema wanaita schedule. If you can create a schedule of your sleep pattern, for example, ukisema saa 4 on the dot ndio saa yangu ya kulala, na lazima niamke like 6, kwa mfano 6 am asubuhi, that kind of a sleeping pattern is so much helpful. Let us see how. So when you stick to a schedule or a sleeping pattern, it you should also consider some of the small things, kwa mfano kama blue lights. Blue lights from devices kama screens, and kama computers, labda masimu. Blue lights are not prescribed, especially wakati you need to sleep. They are a destructive kinds of they cannot help you get some good sleep, and it actually makes it harder for you to sleep. So I think what you should do is you reduce the light exposure from your phone, from your computer, or any other device. So na huwa wanasema if you really want to sleep well or find some good sleep, you can just switch off your lights and you keep off from any electronic device at least 30 minutes before you sleep. Kama kwa mfano saa yako ya kulala ni saa 4, you can decide that from saa 3:30 utakuwa unaingia kwa bedroom yako, and then or you find something to do for at least 30 minutes before you get to sleep, and that is very useful. uh, so those are some of the destructive things that huwa inaharibu ile self care for wale watu wako na a problem with the mental health. Maureen ananiambia niongeze sauti bado. I hope sahii ananisikia vizuri. Hmm. Kuna mtu hapa anasema mm, men can be at greater risk of mental health issues for harboring much pressure inside them. The thought of not sharing or opening up even to close allies, and some of them think they lose masculinity, which is very true by the way. Tycoon is speaking some sense here. Kuna watu wanasema hawawezi share their situations kwa sababu, especially men, kwa sababu they feel like you're losing your masculinity, whereas it is not the case. Well, they normally say you speak it up so that you can heal, or you can navigate through it in a easier way. Yes, thank you, Ambassador, for encouraging them to take notes. Yeah, Dan anasema avoid stimulants. Light stimulates impulse transmission, interfering fully with melatonin that aids sleep and wake pattern. Encourage lots of activities during the day. I think hiyo imeeleweka vizuri sana. Ile ya kwanza ilikuwa na biology mingi, but this one is it's inaeleweka vizuri. Yeah, so another tip. So umesikia kwenye dada amesema we avoid such stimulants kama light, because light na caffeine pia. Caffeine is a stimulant. Light ina stimulate impulse ya transmission ambayo ina interfere na melatonin, na melatonin is actually aids in the sleep and wake pattern. So whenever it's interfered, you may not be able to have a regular sleeping pattern or a smooth pattern ya usingizi. So in that case, you may not get some good sleep. And he also encourages that during the day, you can keep yourself busy doing some kind of stuff, so that at least during the night, your body gets some good time to rest. And in the midst of resting, you are also cured from your mental health issue. Yeah, we also have relaxing. Yeah, when I say you try a relaxing activity, explore a relaxation or wellness programs, uh, which may incorporate meditation, muscle relaxing, breathing exercise, schedule regular times for they say you schedule some regular times for this health activities so that you can even enjoy or listen to music, reading, spending time in nature, engaging low stress hobbies. Such kinds of things will help you navigate through your situation very well. Whenever you feel like you're having a lot of burden in your heart, in your mind, it is important that you get somewhere, go and walk. Just do some nature walk. Do some kind of activities that can be relaxing. Like for example, um, listening to music. There are people. There are some kinds of music which are healing. They are therapy. You can listen to them. There is also um, reading. You spend time reading novels that are positive and they are encouraging. Like with such tips, you can you can be healed. Yeah, we also have what we call setting goals and priorities. Setting goals and priorities means like because maybe most of you are going through the same mental issue because there were some things you didn't manage to achieve. You didn't make it on time or maybe in a desired manner, and it led you to some kind of stress that brought you a mental health issue. So it is advised that you should set some goals and priorities. Yeah, that decide what you must get done now and what you can wait. For the sake of disappointment, to avoid that, you can decide, you see, this, I'm going to do it now because I am able to do it now. And this one, it is going to wait because I may not be having sufficient time or resources to get it done. So it has to wait. And by that act of of planning, it will give you some kind of therapy. You will not be feeling that's heavy within you or disappointment, but instead you'll be healing from that. We also have uh, practice gratitude, that you remind yourself daily of the things you are grateful for. Be specific, write them down, reply in your mind. Yeah, you can think of what you have done. Watu wengine wanajionanga bure kabisa. Mtu anasema mimi hata ni bure, hakuna kitu mimi naweza fanya. But in real sense, kuna vitu mingi amefanya. Hakuna mtu anaweza kuwa bure. But unapata mtu anasema mimi ni bure kwa sababu ya nimeanguka kwa hii issue ama sijatimiza hii issue, and in real sense it's not the case. So you try to appreciate yourself, learn some gratitude, list them down, what exactly have you done, and reply to yourself. Jiambie, mimi hapa, I did this and I'm proud of myself. You can even reward yourself, and by so doing, it's a kind of therapy. And then the second last one is you focus on positivity. Yes, you focus on positivity. Identify the challenge, uh, your negative and unhelpful thoughts. Identify and challenge your negative and unhelpful thoughts. You can identify what exactly is it that you normally think about, and it is not really positive. It's not really a good thing that brings a good vibe. you can decide to ignore it and do away from it, and then find a more positive one, a more encouraging one. I think that's the case. We also have the last one. You stay connected. Yeah, this is where the issue ya nani inakuja. Like, reach out to friends or family members who can provide emotional support and practical help. Amongst your friends, huwezi kosa wawili watatu ambao wako willing kukusaidia, whether emotionally or practically, they must be there. So you reach out to them, wambie, me, by the way, I'm going through this issue and I'm not really going to make it through alone. So I need your help. And from your discussions and from you opening up, you will actually explore many ideas on how to cope up with that, how to do, or how to overcome that. So it is very crucial that we should learn to share. So I think that's what those are some of the self care tips kwa wale watu wako na some kinds of stress. So the last part, I want us to look on the last part so that labda tupate comments ya mwisho, so that you also meditate on what we have learned today. Derek anasema mtu aambie Daniel ateme hiyo jaba. Aha, okay. Daniel, by the way, is speaking some sense, Derek. So sijui jaba iko kwa Daniel ama ni kwa Derek. But anyway, Daniel anasema anataka kutumaliza. Yeah, Daniel apunguze kizungu kidogo. And then Daniel anasema you guys are really doing some good work there. Thank you so much, Daniel. Asante sana. Uh-huh. Nani huyu tena anasema, yeah, I think those are some of the comments that we have right now. So let us look at the last part of our topic today, so that it's a very wide issue, by the way, and it's very wide. So from what we just spoke today, I think you can also find some time you try going through, so that we do it. What exactly does mental health contain or entail? Okay. Now, after we have seen the types, and after we have seen how it affects us in our day-to-day lives, now let us look on some of the causes. Some of the causes, and I'm just going to list them, so that you know, and if it is possible, you can try to avoid. So before we know the causes, let us see on this. So there are stages of life, and there are also stages where stress or mental health issues differ. Like, there's a certain stage you will have some kinds of mental health that is quite different from another one or another stage, and there are also factors that are considered whenever you're going through, or whenever you're going through some kind of a health issue. So let us look at taking care of our mental health. It is actually important that at each and every stage of life, you should know that what kinds of stress is there, kwa sababu unaweza kuwa mzazi na labda watoto wanapitia some kind of stress, and if you're not curious enough, if you're not careful enough, you may not handle them Well, nah, you may not meet them. Even in the situations they are going through, you may not understand them. So, number one, there is what we call the early and middle childhood. That is between birth and 11 years. Yeah, those are young children, and they also have mental health issues. Like mental health in childhood includes reaching developmental and emotional milestone and learning healthy skills and how to cope up with these problems. Children who experience good mental health have positive and quality life and can function well at home, in school, socially, and even in their communities. So that these children wenye wako na vibe tu mzuri, they are doing very well at home, very well shuleni, very well kwa society, na kila mahali wako unapata tu ni watoto wako sawa, wako happy, they are performing well. And then on the other case unapata there are these children who are not performing well even at home. Unapata unazungusha mtu, fanya hii. She or he doesn't even get what you're trying to tell her. Shule, he's not performing. Unapata mtu ako dull, he's not performing in any case socially, like he or she is not productive, and there's some kind of stress that is actually there. So at that stage, we also have another stage. Yeah, adolescence, that's between 12 and 17 years old. That's at an adolescent stage. And now it is a unique stage, by the way, because it is very formative, and when many health behaviors and habits are established and carry over into adulthood. So adolescence is also time of important developmental changes. Physical, emotional, social challenges, including exposure to poverty or violence, can make adolescents vulnerable to mental health problems. Remember, this is a time that mtu anadevelop kuwa mtu mkubwa. Yeah, you see, he's going through some changes. Yeah, emotionally, physical. You remember ile science ya high school na primary, what people in the adolescent stage go through. And so whenever they are exposed in situations that causes them uh, that hinders them from that such kinds of developments, it becomes a mental health issue. It affects them, and they cannot function well. They cannot be well mentally, and this includes exposure to poverty. For example, for the ladies, for the girls who are maturing up, unapata there are those girls wenye wako in the rural areas, for example, where unapata ni vigumu kwao kupata things like sanitary pads, na unapata mtu anakuwa stressed, mtu anakuwa overwhelmed na ile situation nako, na within no time mtu anaanza kudevelop uh, a mental health issue. So that's a stage that should be taken care of. We also have young adulthood, that is between 18 and 26 years, where early adulthood can also come with a major transition such as entering college and workforce, securing a house or starting a family. Positive mental health and well-being in young adults can help young people to meet these transitions changes successfully. I think that's the stage where most of us tuko. Unapata this is time umemaliza shule ama unaingia college. Wengine wanataka kuanzisha familia, wengine wanataka kujenga, at least they find somewhere they call home. Wengine wanataka you see, there are lots of things that they really want to do in that stage. Na unapata whenever it delays or whenever it takes too long for them, or they are not in a position to do any of them, it becomes a mental health issue. So it is very important that we should also consider such states, yeah, life, such stage, ya kwamba it's risky, you can develop some mental health issue there. Mm, Now then we have the middle adulthood, that is between 27 and 64 years. That's that's a stage where watu wengi wana face what we call parenting and caregiving and even relationships. Unapata most of the relationships zinakuwa na issues kidogo, parenting inakuwa vigumu ku maintain or ku yeah, to manage. So it's also an area ambayo watu wanafaa kujua ya kwamba it's a potential area for a mental health issue. And then the last one, yeah, adulthood, that is 65 years and above. Those are old people. And even them, they have mental health issues. And the changes that impact their mental health, such as retirement, coping up with serious illnesses, losing a loved one, and they experience a lot of feelings for grief, social isolation and loneliness, kwa sababu hawa ni watu wenye mtu labda ameretire, anajua from today hakuna source zingine ya income tapata labda. They also go through the pain of losing their loved one, kwa sababu at that age unapata you see a lot, you come through or you go through a lot. And unapata they also have their own stresses. So that is some of the stages in life that we people go through, and they come with different kinds of stress. Yeah, so I think we have talked about much about the mental health. So let me have your final comments so that we adjourn. But I think you promise that mtaenda kuangalia kuhusu your topic, so that next time we come again we can be free to share. Yeah, so tell us. Yes, naona nani hapa, Mutanda, what are you?
Achende kusomea comments.
Daniel asema ADHD for children, that is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, some presence of mutism and mental retardation. Yeah, I think this is ile stress inapatanga watoto that they cannot perform well wakiwa nyumbani, wakiwa shule, wakiwa kwa society, na Daniel ameileta vizuri hapo. I think host utapanga siku moja you engage Daniel, so that we can share some of these things for the good of our listeners. Yeah, so let us finalize so that tuangalie the final comments. It's been nice having you around, by the way, listening to what we had today, and I'm glad. Yeah, so maybe I invite our host akuja amalizie show, but I'm glad at least we've listened, and if you still have some comments, you can just share them through the chat section, and do not forget to remember to subscribe, remember to like and even share. So mbarikiwe sana, thank you. It's been Emmanuel. We've been educating ourselves today about mental health, and I hope for those who have been taking notes, at least you have something to write down. So Karib, thank you so much.
Kam na kapi yako.
Alright.
chukua ile kapi yako.
Nimesahau chai.
Aya, sawa sawa. Niko na mic yangu. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. It has been a very nice session being here. Actually, we are going to have a series of mental health talk. He was actually the first one to start talking about the mental health. And this week that we are going, you will hear very many other people talking about mental health in Ambassador Speaks. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for accepting to grace the beginning of mental health. We shall be having very many talks. So far, I have 3 guys who are in line. It's just me and time. So when you receive a link from Kipchumba or from me or from any other person about any video that we are going to hear here, please be part of the team. Subscribe, share, like. I mean, just be part of us. We are doing great things here. We are discussing major topics. We are learning. That's why I said this. Ensure you have a notebook like this one for Kipchumba. I have your notebook, Kipchumba. I may say something that you need to write a point. And have your pen here again. So have your phone here, so that when I have something that I'm saying and you feel like you want to put it down, I've given you the importance of writing down points. One, I say that when you write, you don't forget. And it also shows that you are serious doing something. When you write, it goes, by the way, let me explain. Have you ever asked yourself why every speaker comes to your school those days, says, when reading, write short notes. In the brain, it divides into 2 parts. Daniel Kiblakat will guide me here. We have the long-term memory and we have the short-term memory. So when writing, the nerves of the hand are connected directly to the long-term memory. So when writing, you read then write. It goes through the long-term memory and it helps in memory retention ability. Thank you so much for being here. And again, once again, Kipchumba, thank you so much. Now, tomorrow evening, by the way, tomorrow I will have 2 videos. Tomorrow evening, Kipchumba and Brian, those 2 boys, will be talking about petting. Petting is not good. I will be there to talk about petting. The 3 of us, I don't know whether this space will be enough. I don't know will operate the camera. I think we will be doing it in dance because we must do it. So when you get that link, please come in. We discuss about petting. Petting is one of the ways that has made people get into depression, lose their mental health. Petting, alcohol. I mean, there are very many things. Let me not mention so much alcohol because my followers here, naona wengine wanakunywanga pombe. Ndio wasema tunawaingilia. No, I don't have a problem with it. But alcohol, petting, okay, other things are natural. Like someone doesn't get a child. He or she has no ability in controlling that. Mental health is a very wide field. By the time we are done with all the 5 speakers of mental health, most of them will have mentioned what we need to hear about mental health. Thank you for the returning viewers, those who have already subscribed, and thank you for the new people. I know some of you are new in this topic. Like, in this channel of the Ambassador Speaks. And there are some of you, actually, you deserve to be clapped for. We were with you during those days when it was Ambassador Foundation. Now it's Ambassador Speaks. It's me. I'm supposed to be speaking. But of course, if I get somebody who can speak on my behalf, like Kipchumba has done today, the day I will be going to Eldoret, I will be meeting Daniel Keblagat. We will have a very nice session with him and very many other people who will still have a chance to speak in my channel here. I'm very happy and I want to take this chance to wish you a very good night. Not forgetting, tomorrow evening at the same time, be here. Be here. We learn about petting and its evils. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., I don't know whether you will join. I will be live streaming a football match between the Alliance High School team and the old boys of the Alliance team. So I don't know who will win the match, but please make sure I will send you the link. Kuna wengine wanasema you are sending very many links, I will still send. As far as I have your contact, I will still send. And you only have one option, to click and watch my videos. Actually, they are not comedy. We don't do comedy. Someone is saying that cannot hear me. Really, Joyce? Joyce, uko na mchezo kwenda kabisa. I'm okay, Joyce. I know you can hear me. So I'm saying this. Mumo Felix from Machakos anasema clap for me today. Yes, sasa wacha tukupigie basi makofi Mumo Felix. Sasa wewe. Joyce Atieno, Otieno, nurses in the house. Paranoia, narcissism, OCD, and also types of personality disorders. I wish one day I pick Joyce Otieno and Daniel Keblakat naweke mahali moja tuongee kuhusu kitu inaitwa whatever you're talking about, you guys. Okay, tomorrow, not tomorrow. My next speaker will be a pastor who will be talking about mental health. Then my other speaker will be a doctor. Kipchumba, who was talking today, I don't know what is he, what are you? What are you? I'm asking, I'm saying this. My next speaker for mental health will be a pastor, actually a chaplain from the Alliance High School. Number 2 will be a doctor from a certain hospital. Then I will also be talking about mental health as a teacher. Now, you're talking about mental health as who?
Actually, I was talking about mental health as just an educator.
Asan?
As okay, I was informing
Uh-huh.
because it's a live. It comes out through. Why is it that you don't trust my answer?
Okay, as who?
You see, these are things that we go through in our day-to-day activities, day-to-day life. You see, and whenever you share something that you've ever experienced, you actually do not need any profession to share. You see, even pastors.
Ni sawa,
Eh,
mimi sichakataa maneno yako,
eh,
nimesema
eh,
okay, in short I'm saying tell people your profession. I mean, mbona tunasumbuana?
okay,
Eh.
I was just educating people.
Sawa sawa.
Yes.
Felix Muma anasema hauna profession. Very simple. Please just say biology. Okay, what okay, twende pole pole here. Ulisomea nini campus?
Okay, I did biology.
In what?
Yes.
PhD ama whatever.
Yes, I did a BSc biology.
Oh, hey, so
Yes.
soon Felix anashaka. Felix is laughing at you. Anasema wewe ni victim.
Felix usikue personal.
Felix Mungu waje kwa hivyo bwana. Anyway, but so unaona amepresent vizuri. But sasa I was watching and people were saying that sauti yake iko chini. Maybe wewe pia ndio uko unasikia vizuri. But he is a very soft spoken person. Hananga kelele mingi kama mimi. Yes, si mchuachi, yani he's just a gentleman, ametulia. So not every time utakutana na mtu ako na kelele mingi kama mimi ama kama Felix Mumo. Watu wengine wametulia, na mmoja mwenye ametulia ni mtu anaitwa Kipchumba. Otherwise tukutane kesho 2 p.m. tuone hiyo match kati ya Old Boys wa Alliance and the school team. Then kesho jioni tukutane about petting. We tell you that petting is evil. Petting has made many people lose their families. Petting has made people lose their loved ones. I mean, bibi anatoroka anamwambia usipoachana na hii ndege inaitwa theater. Petting has made people lose their jobs, and petting has made people lose friends. Anakuomba pesa lakini harudishi. Anakuomba pesa na anaimagine I will be a millionaire in the next few minutes. While people are going to Mujengo, people are going to build, people are going hustling, people are doing online things like I'm doing, people are building from scratch. Somebody says, nataka niwekelee 100 pate milioni 3. Yani wewe nikuulize Kinuthia, Muhindi atoke India, akuje Nairobi, akomboe nyumba, alipe tax, aajiri watu. Halafu mwalimu wako staff room, sijui shule gani, anafikiria anasaidia Muhindi. I mean, you cannot. Mtu mwenye analipa mpaka analipa tax ya serikali. Hata serikali sasa ikiamua ipandishe tax ya petting companies, they will still be there. Why? Kina Kinuthia kama wewe, I will still be there petting. Somebody said, I want to pet. Tukamwambia haina shida. Petting si mbaya. Can you pet kabisa? Yani, can you pet with all your heart? Then we meet after 5 years or 10 years, then we compare notes with the person who is not petting, and that person did not go to bed. Ni kama mwingine alisema, kunywa pombe si mbaya, tukamwambia enda ukunywe kabisa. We come and compare notes 5 years from now. This was your host, Sir Alex, aka the ambassador. So I want to wish you a good night, and it was nice hosting you. Kilikapo mali ile waje nifunze.